Oh yeah, we're live. Even though I'm not getting any notifications at all. Hey, Kip, what's up, buddy? Hey, Debbie. Donald Trump is a liar. Prove me wrong. Well, the title went through. That's good. That's 3 notifications. I got 3 of them. I'm only getting 3 notifications for some reason. I used to get 4. Maybe I am getting 4. Maybe 2 of them are coming at the same time. Debbie, Michael, Debbie, Pam, Kip, Evans, Luke, Aaron. Hey, what's up, everybody? Kat. Hey, guys. Evans Garden 420. I love it. I got 4. You got 4 notifications? You're better than me. You're a better person than me, pal. Let me tell you. We got Rogie here going rogue. It's top of the hour. It's time to smoke. I got half a bowl from this morning that says I am going to hit it as is. Cyber style, no law regarding cannabis. Cannabis isn't just for all. Cheers, everybody. All right, Evan, what's up? Right on, Alex. Hey, Steve, Jennifer, David. How long before you can tell the sex of a plant? Usually about 7 or 8 nodes, 7 or 8 sets of leaves. You'll see 2 white hairs come off, very small, very small, about a quarter of an inch, both of them, to an eighth of an inch, 2 tiny little white hairs. That's a female plant. It'll come right from the V where the leaves are coming off the stalk. Any word on Alex joining Tim Pool? No, I don't know anything about that. Jake, what's up, buddy? Sean, hello. Debbie, hi. If you know any information, share it at will, Jake, for sure. I don't know anything. Um, I do want to say that Jimmy Dore is going live. Lee Camp and Graham Elwood are live right now. A lot of the people that I love are live right now. But I generally when they're live, I will go watch them, and I won't even do a live broadcast. But I was like, man, no, you guys, I love you guys. You guys are great, and it is almost 420, and even though I didn't have anything really to bring to the table, I just turned on a little clip of Andrew Cuomo talking to Wolf Blitzer, and it's fucking psychotic what Donald Trump said. He said because of Andrew Cuomo's decision making, they're not going to be able to get the virus when everybody else does. New York won't get the virus. Donald Trump said that. And Wolf Blitzer and Andrew Cuomo are talking about it, man. It's here. It's right here. It's right here. And Cuomo makes a comment. He says, those aren't the facts, or the president is misrepresenting, or blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, Donald Trump's a liar. I'm not too much of a pussy to call him a liar. Are you guys? Trump fucking lies. Trump claimed he shut down the border to Mexico in March during first of the COVID shutdown. What a liar. I was in Mexico that day for work. I crossed the border twice, says Greg Shaggy Warges. Thanks for sharing that, Greg. David Salas, what's up? Evans, I love it when you pull them up when you're live. Oh, do you? Because most people leave my show, Evan. I love pulling up my favorite podcasters, but I slowly watch my goddamn stream exit as I do. No one has ever told me, hey, man, we don't like it whenever you play H.A. Goodman. We don't like it when you play Graham Elwood. We don't like it when you play Lee Camp. We don't like it when you play Jimmy Dore videos. No one's ever said that. You guys just leave, you know? That's why I don't do it as often. I would love to have a video here every time I go live and discuss it with you guys. I would love to, but you guys leave. You guys would rather see smoke rings right here, man. You really would, than somebody that's up there making sense. It's too bad. Pac-Man is covering it. Amanda Lynn, hello. Trump is a Dick Stain liar. That's right. What president doesn't lie? I have yet to find one, but I'm not going to sit here and act like Donald Trump doesn't tell lies, bro. You know what I mean? He's the current president. Hey, Jimmy Dore might be going live. What? Oh no, they're starting soon. Ah, unreal. I'm still waiting. Let's fix that chat, shall we? There we go. That should work. And let's fix the count. There we go. Great. Pierced your lip. Cheers oil on the pain. Helped so much. Hell yeah, it did. Yes, it did. Trump claimed we have the smallest number of deaths in the world. That is a lie. I watch both of you. I will shout you at the top of my lungs, Nate. Doc, all I want you to do is share on social media for me. Since Trump is not president of the United States of America, America can heal again. I can't. That's good. I'm trimming while I listen and watch you. Right on, Kip. Good, good. So, wow, you guys are great. I'm going to... Because you're so great, and I know you guys want me to smoke, I'm going to smoke some more cannabis. But I'd love to listen to what Lee Camp has to say about the drug war, the war on drugs. You know, I'd love to watch what Graham and Lee are talking about government secrets. Their show is on right now. I'd love to watch that. You know, it's just none of you wanted to say a word about that. Isn't that interesting? Not a single peep about it. About the fact that you guys leave when I pull up other videos. Then get elected and do nothing. That's true, Corey. That is true. Now the finishing beard, the mustachio brush. There it is. The hair, the facial hair is groomed. Karsten and I were both watching Lee Camp live today. Trump is surfing the blue wave. Golden Majestic Meatball. He's surfing the blue wave. He's a liar. Can you name a politician that isn't, though? Hey, Slowski. Can I name a politician who isn't a liar? No, I can't. They all fucking lie. I mean... The word politician, the definition of the word politician should change. You know, we should change the definition to mean somebody who makes their life. Hey, Joe, who makes their life's work to lie to people so that they can personally profit. That should be what the definition of a politician should be. Because that's what they all are. They're all there to enrich themselves, not to help us out. And all the young progressives and the new ones, all the young ones, and they're all, I can't, no, you all get bought. Fuck you, suck my dick. Oh, but what about that Batar guy? He's going up against Pelosi. He's going to be bought, just like AOC was bought, just like the fucking squad is bought, and they don't say anything, and just like every other fucking Ro Khanna and every other motherfucker. Oh, look who's live.
New Chief of Staff, we're going to talk about that. And he's a real progressive fighter.
She snickers when he says he's a real progressive fighter. It's funny.
Look at that miscommunication. Also coming up, we're going to take a look at Trump has got a new Secretary of Defense, and they're claiming they're going to pull out of Afghanistan. I thought that's what he said he was going to do 4 years ago. Apparently now he's super serious. Right after he loses an election, Trump is really serious about getting us out of these wars. But we'll see. But before we get to all that, we have a special guest at the top of the show. I'm always happy when our next guest makes time for our show. He's a congressman from California's 17th district. He's one of the strongest progressive voices in the Congress. He has bravely led the campaign through Congress to end our military involvement with Saudi Arabia's genocide in Yemen. And he is one of the few Congress members who has the guts to come on this show. So let's welcome Representative Ro Khanna. Hi, Ro. Thanks for coming on.
If Trump can't be bought, here's my answer to that. If Trump can't be bought, why didn't he speak out when Saudi Arabia assassinated the politician, the journalist over there? He's bought. Why doesn't he speak out against Russian military activity? Why didn't he speak out against, the horrors that Kim Jong-un does to his people in North Korea? Why doesn't he speak out against what Israel does to the Palestinians? Trump is bought by everybody he's ever come into contact with. He's a fucking bought bitch. So for people to say that Trump can't be bought is hysterical.
The Saudi blockade lifted. We're still providing spare parts to the Saudis. We're still providing arms to the Saudis.
I was just talking about that.
Logistics to the Saudis. We need to stop all of that.
You hear that? That's what I was just saying.
Frankly,
Donald Trump is bought by the Saudis.
Into Yemen.
There you go. I can't believe we're talking about the same thing.
In human history.
So, can you just explain what is the government's official rationale behind?
We're bought. We are bought. They're all bought.
There is none. The official. It's wrong, but their claim is that it's a dispute and that the Houthis are to blame as well, and that the Houthis are being funded by Iran, and that this is a proxy war with Iran. Now, the Houthis are not blameless. No one should think that the Houthis are somehow angels, but the reality is that if the United States were to stop our support of the Saudis, we would put so much pressure to get to a peace, and that's what Martin Griffiths wants to do. So our policy has been dictated as a counter-check to Iran, and that's why this has been going on as long as it has.
Okay. But just for people playing at home, if you don't know why we're always in bed with Saudi Arabia militaristically, it's because of the petrodollar. And Saudi Arabia was certainly seeing how far the United States would go to support them when they started doing this genocide in Yemen. And we're going all the way because of the petrodollar. Okay, and look at my other videos, which will explain what that is. So, Ro, in your opinion, so now we have Joe Biden coming into office. And what does the future fight for Medicare for All look like? What challenges and opportunities should progressives prepare themselves for under a Biden presidency?
Well, I believe in Medicare for All, and I think that the first step is that we should get a vote on Medicare for All in the House. We ought to have hearings.
Corner of the hour, cannabis says it tis for all. Cheers, everybody.
I think if you look at the polling, Fox News.
Anthony Zani, I find interesting what you said, and I agree. I agree with almost all of it, except for the part
that is popular.
Except for the part where you said that Donald Trump did more for our country and took out the bullshitters that you people don't understand, that big money rules the government. Yeah, we do understand the big money rules the government. Donald Trump added to the swamp. He didn't remove the swamp. And that, Anthony, that makes you a fucking liar. So you need to apologize to my audience for fucking lying, because Donald Trump didn't do more for our country and take out the bullshitters. You're the fucking bullshitter. You need to apologize, Anthony Zani, or I will block you. We don't let people come in here and lie. If you could have done that without lying about Donald Trump, it would have been good. You were close, bro. You almost had it, but then you fucked up. I look forward to your apology, though. I really do.
Currently on the horizon to Nancy Pelosi would
Cheers,
be Hakeem
guys.
Jeffries, who is ostensibly even more corporate than Nancy Pelosi is. So will progressives in Congress just shrug their shoulders and put up a challenger to the White House leadership, or no?
Well, she's going to win. So it would be tilting at window. She has support in the caucus. Now she'll be there. As she said, she's going to be there 2 more years, and progressives are.
Hey, Kelly. Hey, Karen.
Sure we have a progressive successor to her. But a challenge to Nancy Pelosi now would actually lead to someone elected who was more conservative. So yes, we disagree on the Medicare for all, and I've been clear about that. We made progress, though not enough progress. We got a hearing in Energy and Commerce, and I don't understand why we can't have a vote on things. I mean, I understand if people vote against it. Fine, that's the Democratic process.
I told you, bro. I told you, Anthony Zanni, you got about fucking 1 minute left to apologize for lying to my audience. 1 minute, buddy. It only takes a second to say it. Sorry, I lied. Oh, there you go. Donald Trump did exactly what
To me, the
he
reason why
said.
there
What
hasn't been a
did
vote
you, what he said
is
he'd do?
that the people who pull the strings in the United
Okay, that's true. Donald Trump did do what he said he'd do. That doesn't make him great. Okay, what he said he would do was bring hate and fear and racism and divisiveness to our country. He promised that, and he gave it to us. All right, Joe Biden doing the 47 years that he was in office, not much. I'm not trying to compare Donald Trump to Joe Biden, though. And he, even at the last debate, was confronted by Trump why he did this, and that I'm not apologizing to anybody because I'm allowed to. No, it's not an opinion, bro. No. It's a lie. He didn't drain the swamp. So you're a fucking liar. And this is what everybody does not want to know and why you will not see it on Facebook or anything. Well, just so you know, before I block you for being a liar and not apologizing, it's all you had to do. You lied, and you're going to be blocked for it. Trump is a businessman, and this country should be run like a business, not given away to everybody for free. Okay, disagree with you. Literally, he proved that running the country like a business didn't work. Wow, look at the fucking COVID deaths. You know, look at our economy. Look at your jobs rate right now, buddy. You know, look at everything. It's the country is going to hell in a handbasket, and that's with Trump at the lead. So Trump ran the country into the ground. Everybody realizes it. We could have done much better. We could have been like New Zealand, but, you know, Donald Trump doesn't want to take advice from a woman. So, you know, this is where we are. I'm more than happy to try somebody else who at least will listen to a woman and putting her as vice president. That's way better than Donald Trump would do. Opinion and statement. Block parties roasting trolls didn't work. PA is closing down again. It's because your sheep, says Adrienne.
To counter it, to say, actually, here's
Yes,
what we're
closing
going to
down.
do.
It's
We're going
because
to raise
your
the wages
sheep.
to $15, and
Cheers.
we're going to
Cheers.
give everyone
Oh yeah, it's
healthcare.
happy 420.
I still believe
Happy
that
420.
having
No
a
longer
vote
got
on
cannabis.
this,
Cannabis
running
is
about it,
for
and
all. I'm starting late.
making
Cheers, everybody.
a villain of
Happy
an
420.
obstruction of the Senate is not just substantively correct, it's good politics.
So what leverage do you have, though the progressives have in Congress, to get Nancy Pelosi to do that thing that seems so obvious to everybody else who isn't bought?
Well, it's not just, look, I get your point about the corporate donors, and there's definitely part of that there, because it's not that corporate donors are going to go give money to some campaign. It's not that transparent. It's that they fund the parties, they fund the super PACs, they fund the independent expenditures, and that is a concern. I think having insurance companies put millions of dollars into a Senate race or the House race.
Coffee. I'm going to make me a cup of coffee. Thank you for reminding me, Bill.
That is one of the factors, but it's another factor, which is we have to be bolder in explaining our message. If you could give me two examples. One is healthcare. You know, they say socialized medicine, and if we just are mealy mouthed, it's not going to work. What we have to say is, no, look, you get to have your same doctors and hospitals. Now every person's going to be in network. Now, right now, you don't have a choice. There are a lot of doctors that are out of network. Guess what? Under Medicare for all, no co-pays, no deductibles, no premium. And if we don't defend it, if we're just kind of wishy-washy, then we get stuck with the baggage and we don't have an affirmative vision. Same thing with Venezuela, right? I mean, we are so tepid on that. So they say they want Guaido. What we ought to say, instead of saying, well, what your policy is going to do. It's actually going to strengthen Maduro. It's going to give Maduro more reason to
confetti splash, just a confetti splash, just a splash, splash, splash of confetti. You love my guitars. Oh, thanks, Megsy.
At the beginning of the pandemic,
Dude, both parties, I'm not saying that both parties don't suck. I never say that. I hate the fucking Democrats and I hate the fucking Republicans. So I'm not here defending the
to the
fucking
1%
Democrats.
in the history of the human race,
But you can't come
and
in here
all
and
the
tell lies about
progressives,
either of them.
including
I'm
Bernie
not gonna
Sanders
put up
and the
with lies.
squad, went along
You
and
can't
voted for
distort the
this.
truth.
So,
I voted for it, yeah.
and
You know, I
Pelosi
won't
put
let
it
you do
to
it. That's
a
all.
voice vote to protect everybody from going on the record for or against. So, when history calls upon them to oppose oligarchy and a corrupt system, what is the point of having elected progressives in power if they just go along and follow orders from their party leadership
I say
anyway?
these.
Oh, that was not following.
It's hard
orders.
for me to read
It-
your-
It was a tough decision. Look, I
Can't
grant
read
you
that
that there was too
second
much
part.
of an excess giveaway to large corporations and large businesses. But remember, it also had a $1,200 check for families. It also had increased funding for small businesses, for restaurants, for people who are hurting. It increased unemployment insurance and gave extra $600 a week plus the unemployment extension. So there were a lot of things in there that did help working families and small businesses. We can argue whether the balance, you should have voted no or yes, and I think on balance it helped more than it hurt. But that was the rationale.
So we won't argue because there's nothing to argue about. You all voted for the largest upward transfer of wealth in the history of human race. Everybody knew it was coming. Who knew anything? Who read not? It's a shock doctrine because this is exactly what they did in 2008. It's exactly what they did it this time with like in a week and a half. It took them a few months last time, but this time they knew they got it down. They did it right away, and they got all of you to go along with that. And so they use that window dressing, that bullshit $1,200 and the unemployment extension, so you guys can hide behind that. And that was horrible what you did.
But Jimmy, you don't think that made a difference in people's lives? I'm sure you know people who got
Yeah.
$1,200 or the unemployment extension.
So of course,
Being a progressive,
bullshit line that they-
being an independent progressive is easy. All you have to do is walk away from the Republicans, walk away from the Democrats, realize that they both lie out their asses. It's all they fucking do to enrich themselves and to satisfy their own personal agendas, whatever that may be, and accept actual facts and reality for a change. I mean, to look at the Democrats say that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are great leaders is fucking hilarious. But then to see some of you people on the right say that about Donald Trump is equally hilarious. You know, you guys are on both sides. You guys are fucking idiots. And all you got to do is walk away from it and become an independent. Become an independent, like Jimmy Dore, like Lee Camp, you know, like Graham Elwood, like me. Become an independent, man. That's why I show you all these guys, man. You know, they got it all figured out. You can't trust these motherfuckers.
Well, basically the CARES Act, well, there's the multiplier also on it, which brings it up somewhere closer to
These
$4
MSM sheeple, I couldn't read that. Block me because I say both parties suck. Right? Right? Fuck them. Welcome home, buddy. It's disgusting how many on Scope block progressive ideas.
But there is $5 trillion that got funneled
On
out.
Periscope?
That's what I'm
Well,
talking
dude, you're in the wrong spot, man. You've got to be on. I would recommend you be on Twitter, not Periscope. You know, YouTube and Twitter, not Periscope. I tell you who to follow. Follow this guy, Jimmy Dore. You know, Ron Placone, Graham Elwood, Lee Camp. Follow those guys to start.
$2,000 a month to every American. And by the way,
Yeah, that's all. That's all. Just walk away. Fucking wash your hands of it. Plant a garden. You know, I got a garden. By the way, the wind ripped my roof off, man, today. It was horrible. Oh, fuck. The winds were really bad today. Man, I'll bet I got trees down. I'll have to walk out there and find out what trees got knocked down. For giving me the info. Yeah, Twitter's great. I'm sipping tea
saying
too.
the
Enjoy the
best
stream.
better policy.
Right on, Curtis. I'm a Patreon to Jimmy Dore because he keeps it real.
So,
Right on.
So just how happy are you that I am the only one who will even attempt to hold your feet to the fire for the CARES Act vote? Aren't you just thrilled that
Cyberstyle, no law regarding cannabis. Cannabis isn't just for all. Cheers, everybody.
James Garage is the only one who's going to ask you about this?
I'd say, I still believe in the First Amendment. I still believe that the press is supposed to be friends with politicians, and you're supposed to ask tough questions. I go on Fox News, I go on other places, and you know, there was a conference call that leaked with the House Democrats, and I never leak, and I don't think people should be leaking, but it was all woe is me, and I said, look, being a United States congressman is like being in the 0.0000001% of privilege of humanity. You're in an extraordinary level of privilege. So if you're going to have tough questions from the press, or you're going to have someone say some not nice things about you, deal with it. Get over it. There's real people with real problems. So I think it's great. I mean, people were like you were saying, why are you going to Jimmy Dore? I said, well, he's a journalist. He asks tough questions, and if you can't answer it, then you should be in some other line of work.
Okay. I know. Well, you got to be happy at how bad that press is. Anyway, let's move on. How about our one final question? Here's my one final question.
Here's my one final question. Cuts off.
And thanks for coming on. But let me go. I have two questions before I get to my
Two.
final.
I got two before my last.
What leverage? So now going forward, it's just Joe Biden is just stocking his cabinet with Republicans and people from the defense and from the military-industrial complex and
Someone mentioned this on the show this morning, and I didn't know what they were talking about.
They're
like, what about Joe Biden's cabinet? I was like, Joe Biden's not president yet. I don't even know about his cabinet yet. They must have seen this. Jimmy Dore did a report on it.
What leverage
And I haven't
do you have
seen
to
it
get
yet.
anything done for people?
Well, we have leverage. I mean, look, we started with Yemen. I believe that Yemen, about President-elect Biden will stop that war, and you can have me on in 2 months or 3 months, and we'll see if I'm correct. But I'm pushing, and we disagree with Ron Clay. I mean, Ron Clay, I think, will actually help get us the Yemen.
I think I'm going to go with some of Dino's peyote cookies.
Stops the war in Yemen. That would be a huge contribution.
No, Maggie, I've never heard of that.
Beyond that, though, I think I tweeted out today.
Never heard of it.
The Republicans are saying they want to block Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren from being in the cabinet. First of all, that's
Well, it's funny. I was just thinking about Shelley. What is she saying?
absurd because no one can.
Shelley, you want me to
question
unblock
the
you?
Qualifications, and in the past, the Senate has always said it's about qualifications, not about ideology.
She's coming back in to hang out and be friends. Hold on.
To have confrontation, not to say, oh well.
Hold on a second. Shelley.
McConnell says it can't be confirmed, so we're not going to do anything. We have to nominate them, force the fight. And I guess what progressives are going to do is we're going to continue to push our values and ask that we take the fight to the Senate, and we're going to continue to push as hard for that as possible. And you see, we're not backing down. Progressives have been defending Black Lives Matter. We've been defending the progressive turnout, and we're not compromising on the agenda.
So there's going to be a lot of evictions coming.
I'm going
up,
through
a
as
lot of
quick as I
foreclosures.
can.
And the last time we were in a similar economic downturn like this, Joe Biden presided over kicking 5.1 million.
I can't believe how many people I've blocked since I've emptied the list. Holy shit.
Protect people from Joe Biden.
Where's your name, Shelley? I don't see you on this block list.
Well, we need to protect
Keep looking.
people from eviction, and the
It's gotta be on here.
Is something that would be dealt with in a stimulus package. I mean, we ought to have assistance for making rent payments. We ought to make sure that there's a national moratorium on evictions, and we ought to do that. I will say this.
Huh.
Yeah, certainly in my life. I mean, there are things I've done and supported that I don't support, and where I made mistakes. And I guess
So many names on this list. I don't. Oh, Shelley, there you are. Yeah. Yeah.
What is he going to support going forward? And I'm hopeful. Given the overwhelming.
I don't mind unblocking you if you want to come back to the show. I was just thinking about you. today. It's kind of funny.
Education funding, making sure that the basic housing, that he will see that these are the policies that,
All right, here we go with the peyote cookies from Dino.
We're gonna push hard for them.
Okay, I don't see, I don't mean to be too big of a pessimist, but without workers having actions.
No law
shutting
regarding
things down,
cannabis.
the
Cannabis
essential
isn't just for all.
workers, you saw
Cheers,
that they
everybody.
can shut down the
Sorry, Tom.
economy. If the grocery store workers go on strike, or the UPS, or Amazon workers, they can really shut down. So I don't see anything really happening to help people, and I hope I'm wrong about this, but I don't see anything happening without some kind of action, direct action like that coming from the streets, because, like I said before, progressives don't have any leverage right now, especially on something like with these foreclosures, right? Like, what could you do to help people with foreclosures? How could you move the corporatists in Congress to help people?
Well, we could just have laws passed, not just to help with mortgage and rent, but to pass a law to make foreclosure much more difficult, and increase people's rights to not be kicked out of their homes. And to say, look, this was a lesson of 2008, that the mistake of increased foreclosures. But look, if you're saying to me that we need organizing on the streets, that we need that politicians
Peyote
move
cookies
once
fucks
there's
me up, man.
mobilization,
Really fucks me up.
you're right. That we do need that. One place I think that Biden is very good, I even said this when I was running co-chair during the primary, is on labor issues. He genuinely supports labor unions. He genuinely supports proper classification of workers. None of this BS like that the Lyft and Uber spending $188 million to improperly classify gig workers. So I'm hopeful that on labor issues we're going to see progress.
Nope. I didn't hear
Fingers
that,
crossed.
big trombone.
That would be great if that happens. Well,
Chinese
my final
hackers.
question for you is, now Kamala
Haven't heard
Harris
a
is
peep
no
about
longer
it.
U.S. Senator. She's vice president.
Where did you hear about it?
And
Let us know. You got a
the
source?
governor
Yeah.
of California gets to decide who's the next U.S. Senator. Now, Ro, how friendly are
Splash
you
of
with
Covfefe
Gavin
went
Newsom?
after a big bong rip. It's the
Have
best.
you recommended me yet, Jimmy? I don't know if this interview, if I got to still be.
Well, he doesn't take my calls anymore, but if he does, I'll let him know.
And do you
But
support
look,
Jimmy Dore,
I
Ro
love
Khanna?
what I'm doing. I obviously.
Are you out there telling people they should watch Jimmy Dore?
If they said, "Oh, the governor would consider you," would say, "No, I don't want to be considered."
They,
Of course, it would be
InfoWars?
allowed
Let me
to
tell
be
you about
considered, but,
InfoWars.
The biggest
You know,
thing.
we cover only the truest, the most factually based news that you're going to find anywhere on the planet. PrisonPlanet.com, Infowars.com. You're going to hear absolutely factually based. When it comes from China, you know we're covering it. We've got people out there constantly that are on the job. They're making sure they're keeping an eye on China. You know, I don't care if it's the North Koreans and the Chinese and their joint venture with the reptilian shape-shifting interdimensional aliens, which we've also covered. You know that they're literally sucking the thoughts out of people's brains. They're snorting them up like lines of cocaine, or in my case, a big fat line of super male vitality, but only half a pill. I only chop up half a pill at a time. It's so ultra potent. Our super male vitality is a fantastic product. Do I think Bernie will run in 2028? You're so funny. I have MS. Would you recommend that strain? I recommend any kind of cannabis for MS. What I recommend for MS is rubbing this on your body when you have pain. Triage oil. It's the best. Alex tells us more about the elites and their destruction. Tells us more about the elites. Who's Alex, Connor? Oh, Alex Jones. Oh, you're talking about me. I'm sorry. I missed the reference there. I was up in my head. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to what was going on actually, but you know, we are on the forefront of a new frontier here. Donald Trump trying to secure a second term in the Oval Office. Of course, he did win the election. We've got the evidence that the Chinese were interfering with this election on the scale of millions. In fact, we've got evidence that there were over 11 million votes that were literally entered in by the Chinese government in conjunction with shape-shifting aliens. They were reptilian shape-shifting interdimensional aliens. You know, and they're sucking the thoughts out of people while they're changing the votes. You know, we have evidence of this. You could go back, you could check our documentation. You could go and you could talk to my reporters, the people on the ground, the people in the office that are sorting through it all and making sense of it all. And there's a lot to be made sense of. Oh, fucking coffee, man. So I pulled all my vehicles in close to the house, you know, in case a tree falls over or something. And the winds are still crazy outside, man. Crazy winds outside. Look at that. Hey, Mary, your name is fucking racist. So I'm just going to block you. All right? I'm not going to have you in here with a racist name on my live stream. If you want the oil, it's available at naysgarden.com. You know, change your name to something not based on a racist name. Okay? Marijuana is racist. And anything that's based off of a racist name itself is also racist. And that is guilt by association, my friend. That's what they call it. You're not spinning a racist word in here and thinking that I'm going to let it slide because it's your chosen name on Facebook. All right? It's racist. Poor decision on your part. But, you know, you can change your name, use your real name like everybody else does on Facebook. Yeah, I'm not having it. I'm not having it on my live stream. Till the day I die, I don't give a fuck. You know, because it's always going to be, there's always going to be laws regarding cannabis. And as far as that is, as long as there are laws regarding cannabis, I'm calling it fucking cannabis. Until every last fucking law is gone. And that there is no law regarding cannabis. Hey, Nate, how's things? Carl. Hey, what's up, Carl James Stewart? Things are okay, you know. Health-wise, I'm doing great. You know, just sitting up here with my doggy. Are these bongs behind me? Yes, almost everything is a bong. What did I miss? It is live, cannot rewind. What did I miss? Nabolsha Black POTUS. What did you miss? I blocked a couple of people. Somebody was talking to me about, tried to say that Donald Trump has done, you know, wonderful things with his presidency. And I said, while he did do the things that he said he was going to do, the things that he said he were going to do was fucking split up the fucking country and you know, pit the rich against the poor. He said he was going to do that, and he did. He said he was going to build that stupid fucking wall. It started all kinds of bullshit between people. He said he was going to be the law and order president. You know, he's going to bring law and order. Huh. Look how that worked out. And then the guys said something about, you know, he drained the swamp. And I'm like, well, you're a fucking liar. And I'm like, you got to apologize for lying. He didn't drain the swamp. You know, it's funny. The people that he picked for his cabinet, there have been more arrests and convictions in Donald Trump's cabinet than any other president in history. Isn't that crazy? Move your mic, Jimmy. Move your microphone over, Jimmy, so people can hear you.
Perfectly fine. The mess up is on YouTube's end. So I wonder if we're on the algorithm that buffers your show. Because they have algorithms for everything. They have algorithms to unsubscribe your subscribers. Now, places like MSNBC and CNN.
We're going to talk about this?
And shows affiliated with MSNBC and CNN.
Are we going to talk about
those
this?
Those places don't get...
I'm an expert on this.
Unsubscribe. They're on an algorithm that does not unsubscribe subscribers. It doesn't make a difference really in the views on the show. Like, there are shows that have 10 times the subscribers that this show has, and they don't get the views. Mm-hmm. So, it's very, so, but there is an algorithm that unsubscribes people from certain progressive news shows. Not all of them. Certainly not all of them.
So, like, let's say MSNBC. Do you think they unsubscribe anybody from MSNBC?
No. In fact, what I've been told anecdotally is that people go, I never subscribed to MSNBC, and all of a sudden I'm subscribed to their channel. So there's an algorithm. It's, and I know for a fact that they have different algorithms for different shows in the news space, right? Like, for instance, there's a list of shows that are approved to talk about coronavirus. We're one of those shows. We had to get approved. So they have an algorithm that will allow us to do videos about coronavirus, whereas there's an algorithm that will stop another show if they try to drop it. It'll flag it. Somehow, I don't know how they do it. They're the tech wizards. I don't know how they do it. So there's definitely an algorithm for your subscribers or your unsubscribers. I mean, it just doesn't, anyway, so it's obvious. And then I'm going to guess there's an algorithm for monetization. There's an algorithm for, hey, should we slow down their stream? Because there is no net neutrality anymore, just so everybody knows that. But net neutrality wouldn't really affect what even YouTube could still throttle their own site. Oh. That wouldn't have anything to do with net neutrality. If YouTube wanted to throttle somebody on their own site, they could do it. It's their site. It would be, the net neutrality is about the carrier, right? The internet service provider, like the Comcast or Charter. Mm-hmm. It's about them being able to charge more money.
Right. It's not about us being muzzled.
Or you'll get throttled, your speed of your website. So that's the difference. Anyway, Let's get to so if we're buffering, the whole point of this is I apologize. It's not on our end. This is on YouTube's end. There's a technical problem. Maybe it's not a problem. Maybe it's on purpose. Maybe there's a technical thing.
He's only got
happening, but it's on
5,879
YouTube's end.
viewers
It's not
right
on our
now.
end. We have the fastest internet you could get. We don't have the business internet because they don't allow you to get a business internet if you don't have a business address. Even though this is a business and I have to pay business taxes and I have a business license from
And
the
most
city.
people are now conducting business
From their home. Everybody's doing business from their home.
Jeffrey Tubin was doing business.
Jeffrey Tubin doing business. from
Yeah,
his
it'll
home.
get solid
I
in the
gotta say,
freezer, sure.
I've been into a few Zoom meetings. I didn't know that was an option. Zoom meeting with release.
Yeah, man, that it'll solidify and then it'll melt. It'll become, when you take it out of the freezer, it'll melt again over time. Right? Was it black oil? I'm sure it'll freeze.
Okay. So let's do this. Joe Biden is announcing his chief of staff.
Oh.
Joe Biden has announced that Ronald Klain will serve President-elect Biden as White House chief of staff. Who is that guy? I bet he's a big progressive. I bet he's the opposite of a Republican corporatist, right? He's the guy who's going to fight for workers and lefties. Well, he comes right from K Street. You know what K Street is? That's where all the lobbyists are. Uh-oh, someone's texting me. I have to make sure it's not important.
Stand by.
Nave's Garden has gone live.
Well, here, you want to know who he is? Here's who he is. Ron Klain was
Hey,
a
it's
paid
420
lobbyist
in
for an
Newfoundland.
asbestos industry bailout
Holy
package,
shit.
an airline merger, mortgage regulations to help Fannie Mae and
Cheers.
drug maker
No longer
under
gonna
congressional scrutiny
for
for withholding of life-saving drugs from dying patients, among other clients. So that's kind of what he does as a lobbyist. He does all this horrible bad stuff. He's a lobbyist. He's going to be his chief of staff. Klain's career as a lobbyist, during which clients paid nearly $700,000 for lobbying in which he participated, ended when he left his partnership at the law firm McElveny and Myers in 2005. So Biden is extending an olive branch to progressives. It's just covered in asbestos and fracking fluid. Guy got $700,000 for lobbying, so you know he's a true servant of the working people. I'm surprised he didn't do PR for Halliburton while he was at it. U.S. Airways in 2000 and 2001 paid as much as $140,000 to have Klain lobby Congress and the Justice and Transportation Departments on the air carrier's proposed merger with United Airlines. Again, clearly a grassroots kind of guy. Going back 20 years, grassroots. He's been doing this for his whole life, this guy. Airborne Express in 2003 paid Mulvaney, paid O'Mulvaney $120,000 to have Klain lobby Congress and the Transportation Department in support of a sale of its ground assets to DHL Worldwide Express. A $1 billion transaction finalized 1 month after Klain's firm was retained. Klain's team brought in even quicker cash, representing the drug maker Imclone. Imclone? Let's say Imclone. His team lobbied 4 powerful members of the House Committee on Government Reform about compassionate use, investigational new drug applications during FDA clinical testing. Let me read that again.
How come every fucking business that comes out today sounds evil?
Even quicker cash representing the
You
drug
guys notice
maker
that?
Imclone.
Dominion.
His team lobbied 4 powerful
Imclone.
members of the House Committee on Government Reform about compassionate use.
I've heard so many others, man. Where are these guys getting their fucking names ideas from?
The committee held hearings at which Imclone President Sam Waxel was confronted by survivors.
You and Megsy
of
don't live
cancer
far away
victims
from each
who
other?
Died after trying unsuccessfully to get ImClone to grant them compassionate use supplies of its much ballyhooed experimental cancer drug C225. Waxel acknowledged that his company granted only 30 compassionate use supplies out of more than 10,000 requests, and said his company should have communicated better with terminally ill patients. Wow. From 2001 to 2005, AOL Time Warner paid as much as $130,000 for Ron Klain-led team to lobby Congress and the Justice Department on issues related to competition in internet and related computer sciences. Wow.
Makes a lot of money.
Mark Ames tweets this out. Incredible, but not entirely surprising.
I wonder how much
Biden's
legislation
first
he got
appointee,
passed.
Ron Klain worked for Steve Case's Revolution Fund. Back in 2009, I wrote about Larry Summers' work for Revolution, which got millions in suspicious funds from Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, and Morgan Stanley. Wow. 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 Lee Fong tweets this out. Ron Klain, who will serve as Biden's new White House chief of staff, was appointed in 2016 to the Executive Council of TechNet, the trade group that lobbies for Silicon Valley's interests in D.C. So when we're supposed to be regulating these companies in Silicon Valley and breaking them up, he's putting someone
I'm
who's a
high as
lobbyist
fuck.
in charge of doing just not that. To making sure
I'm high
that
as
doesn't
fuck.
happen.
Mission accomplished. It's
Ron
just
Klain joins,
fucking
so this is
dark and
third-
raining
third
out
wave
here.
Is the corporatists who call themselves Democrats, right? Well,
I gotta take my dog out for a walk
They're explicitly
when he wakes up.
corporatists in Wall Street approved.
Put him on the leash and walk out in the
And,
cold and the rain.
There you
It's
go.
fucking miserable out here. At least
They
I've got food
the
though.
right-wing Democrat seal of approval. So that would be the right-wing corporatist wing of the Democratic Party, the third wave. Explicitly, anyway. The whole Democratic Party's right-wing, except for like 6
Got
people.
good food in the house, so.
Warren Gunnels is Bernie Sanders' policy wonk, says the ideas Wall Street Democrats at Third Way have pushed. So just to let you know who Third Way Democrats are who are cool with Joe Biden's chief of staff, this is what they pushed in the past. Opposition to a 15-hour federal minimum wage. They pushed cuts to Social Security and Medicare. They pushed Wall Street deregulation. They push job-killing trade deals, and they've opposed Medicare drug price negotiations. Wow, that's who the third way is. Who's cool with Joe Biden's chief of staff? Just so you know. Just so you know, if this guy's on the wrong side of everything, making him very much, well, like Joe Biden.
Huh.
I guess Joe Biden wants to pick people with as many skeletons in their closet as he does. And let me tell you, White House is going to need more closet space, folks. Here he is. Here he is. This is him. This is a tweet from him. This is a tweet from him, February 13th, 2020. This is a tweet from him, Joe Biden's new chief of staff. You want to hear what it is? He says, we don't have a COVID-19 epidemic in the United States, but we are starting to see a fear epidemic. Sounds like Trump, huh? Sounds like a good corporatist from Wall Street, right? That's him. That's Joe Biden's chief of staff. We listen to the science.
We don't have a COVID epidemic in the U.S.
Against that.
When was that? Oh,
In
February.
De Blasio, it was my honor to spend time
February
with the
13th.
American
That was
Oil
way
Company
back.
in Buffalo,
Okay,
right?
it wasn't.
So
It
they're
wasn't
not
bad
doing
at that
masks, they're
point.
Not social distancing. He's saying don't be afraid of COVID, which was the wrong thing to do. And here he is saying there isn't a COVID pandemic. That's him saying in February. Why? Because that's what Wall Street told him to say. And now he is advising the President of the United States. He's the chief of staff. Wow. So it's just like are you getting Larry Kudlow? Is that the same thing as getting Larry Kudlow?
Wow, look at the wind outside, guys.
Mnuchin in your cabinet? I would say.
Holy shit.
I would say. So we're okay. Breaking news, President-elect Joe Biden is said to have chosen Ron Klain to be his chief of staff. AOC retweets this. Are you ready? Good news and an encouraging choice, she says.
She's such an idiot. She's so fucking bought. She's so bought.
She forgot to ask, good news.
I said that on this broadcast
company.
earlier.
Or a Silicon Valley billionaire. Or, I don't know, a fracker. Or somebody who's in asbestos. It's good news for them. Bad news for everybody else, AOC. Wow. Good news for banks. Good news for banks and corporations. What in the fuck does she get out of tweeting something?
Corporations
like
are people, my friend.
What do you get out of pretending Joe Biden's corporatists are not what they are? I don't know. She's getting something out of it. You tell me what. What did they get out of voting for the CARES Act? She got something out of that too. You tell me. Okay, go to Steph.
Corporations are people, my friend.
Right?
Not
What did she get?
10% of the people
Why'd you have to
that
say
make
good
a
news
whole
and
lot more than the
encouraging
other
choice?
90.
What's that about?
Corporations.
Why is it? You know, it's so.
That's
When you're
AOC.
just going over Ron Klain's history, Jimmy, it's so disturbing.
Let's super chat that.
This guy is a corporatist, rises through these ranks, and now is going to be in a position of influence and power, and not responding to the needs of the people in the middle of a crisis. But I really do like Biden and Harris. You know, they just stand for more things like integrity, right? America's going to be so wonderful. Nothing fundamentally will change. All right, let's start. Who do we have here, ladies and gentlemen? Going back to the top of the hour, 3:58, Beck's fire. Did you see the news about the Department of Defense officials admitting that they tricked Trump into leaving troops in Syria by lying about the numbers?
No.
And the Twitter blue check marks reaction is to mock Trump for getting bamboozled. What the F? Right, Bex? Kumar, the guru, you better tell Rokana to F off, Jimmy. He's a, okay, well, you know, I don't think telling your guest to F off
That's not a good.
is a good strategy. Now,
Strategy.
now you let me know.
Strategy.
Kumar the guru.
She said strategy. That's hilarious. A strategy.
I think this is one of your off days as a guru.
She's so funny.
White Devil, after watching your show, Jimmy, I got me a truth twitch. Those are good. Those are really good. Use your truth twitch carefully. Duly noted, you can mash potatoes, but you can't pea soup. Thank you. Always a nice tip, Dooley. Nice work there. Morton Mickelson. Thank you, Morton. Nico Mutaloa? Tell Jimmy, he is my Jude Law.
He is my Jude Law!
Before every episode, I find myself wondering, what is he going to wear in each episode? I hope the prostate stuff is going well for you. Never give up. You are hilarious, Nico.
That's fucking
And
funny
back
as
to
shit.
Daisy.
Dude, that was hilarious. You are my
So,
Jude Law.
Joe Biden's more news on how his cabinet's
That
going.
was so funny. And so, that
Biden's
was
transition
so
team
Jimmy
is stuffed
Dore.
with Amazon, Uber, Lyft, and Airbnb personnel. Biden's agency review team highlights the revolving door between big tech and Washington. Wow. His team is stuffed with Amazon, Uber, Lyft, and Airbnb. It's kind of like a who's who of exploiters. And there's an app for that. Remember, this is the guy, by the way, his transition team stuffed with Amazon, Uber, Lyft. This is the guy who bragged about being Amtrak Joe. Remember that. Wow. Wow. This incoming Biden team announced its personnel to assist in the transition from the Trump administration. Wow.
Doesn't the word transition tell me that there's supposed to be some sort of change with the team, but really we're just getting corporatists and people who are going to exploit other people? That's no transition, I guess.
I guess with Uber and Lyft, they're making sure people can get a ride out of the White House easily. I mean, come on. Predictably, tech industry executives, insiders, and Obama administration alumni turned lobbyists are overrepresented. And progressives aren't represented at all. Something else we could have predicted. The Biden-Harris team's picks include executives at notoriously badly behaving companies such as Uber and Amazon. Crucially, some team members have worked to support gig companies' assault on labor in recent years. I guess everybody at Comcast was a little too busy. They just went to Uber and Amazon. The picks include Bridget Dooling. She's a professor at George Washington who works out of the nonpartisan Koch-funded Regulatory Study Center, who conjures academic research defending the deregulation of the fossil fuel industry. That's another one of Joe Biden's picks.
Wow, man.
And you know if it's Koch-funded, so you know there's no agenda.
Dump
She
oil.
worked
No,
at a-
dump
she
oil
worked
in the fucking
Koch-funded
goddamn
think tank. Are
rivers.
you kidding me?
The Coke agenda is dump as
He's
much
giving
oil
you
in the
people
rivers
from
as you
Coke.
can.
Koch-funded think tanks. And you know if it's a Koch-funded think tank, there's no agenda. I mean, they're pretty neutral on everything. They're just straight up philanthropists. Staffing a transition team with lobbyists and tech insiders, even ones with a lot of government experience, certainly cuts against the message that Biden is leading an effort to bolster labor. Now, if you still believe that Biden is trying to bolster labor, I've got some oceanfront property to sell you in Nebraska. There's nothing surprising about the fact that so many public servants become lobbyists or vice versa. A revolving door has long existed between Washington, D.C. and the private sector. For many Obama administration alumni, Silicon Valley became their city on the hill as they flocked to the Bay Area and filled key positions at Uber, Apple, Airbnb, and other tech companies and venture capital firms.
They do when you're a
Now,
corporation,
the
dog.
same Obama-nauts, that's what they call them, Obama-nauts.
I'm gonna tweet that. I'm gonna send that. I'm gonna
Idealistic
super chat that to
call for
Jimmy
hope
right
and
now.
change
That's
ended
fucking
up
funny.
Working for some of the most exploitive corporations in existence, and have come back home to help Biden craft his administration. Obama-nauts coming to a fundraising dinner near you. That'll be $10,000, please. Hey, if Joe Biden is truly going to represent the labor movement, he shouldn't be including union busters having to pass the most anti-labor provision from his VP's-elect's home state in his transition team. This is not okay. Wow. Hey, Citigroup chose Obama's 2008, just so you know. And by the way, so Citigroup, who chose Obama's 2008 cabinet, so and I don't know if you know about this, but WikiLeaks revealed that his entire cabinet was pre-chosen by Citigroup. And that was revealed because there was an email sent from Citigroup to Barack Obama's campaign, and it had all the names of the people they wanted in his cabinet, and every one of them ended up in his cabinet.
I said oil and water don't mix unless you're a
The
corporation.
most important WikiLeaks revelation isn't about Hillary Clinton. No, it was about that Citigroup email. 1 month before the presidential election in 2008, the giant Wall Street bank Citigroup submitted to the Obama campaign a list of its preferred candidates for cabinet positions in an Obama administration. The list corresponds almost exactly to the eventual composition of Barack Obama's cabinet. Revealed by WikiLeaks in a recent document released from the email account of John Podesta, the lists were sent from Michael Froman, who was then an executive with Citigroup and currently serves as a U.S. trade representative. The email is dated October 6, 2008, and bears the subject line lists. Froman, an executive at Citigroup, which would ultimately become the recipient of the largest bailout from the federal government during the financial crisis, had mapped
He's
out
just
virtually the entire Obama
eviscerating
cabinet a month
Biden's
before
old
the votes
cabinet.
were even counted.
This is what we have to
We
look
didn't
forward
know
to.
that he locked in key staff that early without fanfare while everyone was busy trying to get Obama elected. The WikiLeaks emails show even earlier planning. By September, the transition
Well said,
was
Wendy.
getting pre-clearance to assist nominees. Citigroup's recommendations came just 3 days after then-President George W. Bush signed into law the troubling asset TARP, which
It's a whole
allocated
bunch of
$700
piles of
billion
human
in
shit,
taxpayer
actually.
money to rescue
Multiple
the largest
piles of
Wall
human
Street
shit.
banks. The single biggest beneficiary was Citigroup, which was given $45 billion in cash in the form of
God, I
government
hope my
stock
tomatoes
purchase,
don't freeze tonight.
plus a $306 billion government guarantee to back up its worthless mortgage-related assets. So basically, Joe
Is
Biden is just trying to be as good as his president,
reliable?
my boss.
Yes, WikiLeaks is reliable.
These are consequences. There are consequences to the kind of home team political atmosphere that rejects any critical thought about your own side. In the 2008 Podesta emails, if the 2008 Podesta emails are any indication, the next 4 years of public policy are being hashed out right now behind closed doors.
I don't
If you want to
know.
have an impact
know,
on that
Maggie.
process, waiting until after the election will be too late. It's already too late. And so, what's
Right on,
Yeah.
Maggie.
and having tech giants, people from Silicon Valley in his cabinet, it's even more pernicious in the face of an economic depression and unemployment. Because the internet now has become even more of a lifeline for people. And many people don't have access to public transportation or enough money for gas to even leave their house. So, and homeless people on the streets, you often see their face illuminated by cell phones behind their makeshift cardboard shelters. And so what I'm saying is our reliance on the internet is even more, our reliance on Silicon Valley's products are even more now, and Joe Biden is it's just disgusting.
You know what, Doc? You might change your mind
The
if you
people
try
that are
some of
supposed to be
David C. Baker
regulated.
Jr.'s red hot cinnamon
Are the
applesauce,
people they're
bro.
putting in positions of power. Of course. Of course.
I'm just saying.
Okay, over to you, Steph.
Over to you, Steph. Hey,
Ooh.
Steph. Deer in headlights.
H.P. Lovecraft, are Americans living in a parallel to the years preceding the French Revolution?
I don't know about that, HP.
Again, Nico, I love that Jimmy is your Jude Law. Frank B., sorry, Roe, you're either with us or Pelosi. I hear you on that one.
Okay.
Back to JD.
So Trump announced he's appointing, he fired Mark Esper, the guy from Raytheon, who was a defense secretary, and he replaced him with this guy. Trump administration installs advocate for quick Afghanistan withdrawal at the Pentagon. This is an article written by Ryan Brown and Barbara Starr. for
No,
CNN.
YouTube's announced that they're throttling
This is a
all
fantastic
news
article. Watch it.
related to election,
So,
everything.
well, here,
All
let's
political
get
shit
into it.
they're trying to control.
McGregor's appointment
They announced
is the
they're doing
latest in a series of sweeping changes at the Pentagon that has put defense officials on edge.
Jimmy started talking about it at the beginning of this broadcast.
What? The defense officials are McGregor and the president. Those are your defense officials. The guy who's now in charge of the Pentagon and the commander-in-chief. McGregor's appointment is the latest in a series of sweeping changes at the Pentagon that has put defense officials on edge and fueled a growing sense of alarm among military and civilian officials who are concerned about what could come next. You mean a withdrawal of our
Yeah, I
troops?
love apple butter. I
That's
love
what
it.
they're concerned about.
I love it.
wonder why they're concerned about that. Oh, that's right.
So good.
Because they all are seeking jobs in the military-industrial complex as soon as they leave the Pentagon.
Cyanide me, baby.
Because they're all crazy warmongers, right? Yeah. But CNN doesn't tell you that. CNN acts like they're a bunch of concerned people like, oh my God, if we stop doing war, that'll be bad.
What is it, arsenic?
They're making
what
CNN
is it in
trying to
apples?
make this seem reckless.
Something poisonous. It's a very trace
Withdrawing
amount
from
of
a
arsenic, I
20-year
think.
war. CNN and their two writers took two people to write this. Ryan Brown and Barbara Starr are here to let you know that us getting out of Afghanistan is reckless and people are scared and worried about it. And why are they writing this? Because they were told to write it this way because they're sponsored by the
Cool, Doc.
military-industrial
Thank you.
complex in Wall Street.
Send away, bro.
That's why. So Trump actually signaling he might follow through on a campaign promise of ending these wars, which everybody wants, except people who have financial
Oh, it's
interest
in
in
the
it, like
seeds.
CNN writers.
Oh, it's in the
4 senior
seeds.
Pentagon officials have been fired or have resigned since Monday, including Defense Secretary Mark Esper, who was fired in a tweet by President Donald Trump. Esper's chief, Mark Esper came right from Raytheon
Mm-hmm.
and is an unbelievably lying warmonger. Mark Esper's chief of staff and the top officials overseeing policy and intelligence. McGregor has been a vocal opponent of the U.S. military's mission in Afghanistan and has called for a total withdrawal of U.S. troops and the American embassy. Now that's what he has called for. Watch how CNN writes this.
Thanks,
They
Doc.
go, he's called for a total withdrawal of troops and the American embassy despite the continued presence of terrorist groups there. So, according to CNN, Ryan Brown, we're supposed to stay in Afghanistan until there's no more terrorism. What do you mean? Terrorism where? You mean in somebody else's country? You mean people who live in Afghanistan still live in Afghanistan?
Wendy.
So we have to stay there forever, Ryan Brown, CNN? Yes, that's what Ryan Brown, CNN is saying. That he's doing his duty as a good little tool of the bought CNN from the military-industrial complex. He's making you think that it's a bad idea to end the Afghanistan war because there's still terrorist groups there. What? Did the CIA actually just grab your hand and put it on the pad as you type this? Ryan Brown, did CIA actually do that for you? Was someone from Raytheon typing this for you? Knowledgeable sources told CNN's Jake Tapper, knowledgeable sources, just nobody, they just made up shit. Knowledgeable sources told CNN's, God, this is no sourcing. This would be one of those things that Twitter would ban, except it goes for the war machine, so Twitter won't ban this. They would ban this if it was negative against the war machine, saying there's no sourcing. But if there's no sourcing and it's in aid of the war machine, then it's okay. So knowledgeable sources told CNN's Jake Tapper on Tuesday that the White House directed purge at the Defense Department may have been motivated by the fact that Esper
Nice,
and his
David.
team were, are you ready for this? Pushing back on a premature withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Make canning videos, Dave. Show people how to do it.
It's been 19 fucking years, Ryan Brown. CNN. It's been 19 fucking years we're in that country. Killing people. For profit. 19 years we're in someone else's country. A generation. 2 straight decades. Killing people on the regular. And I don't know if you read the Afghanistan papers, but everybody knows that it's a joke and we don't know what we're doing there at all. We're only there because military-industrial complex is making money off it.
Let us see your
But
face,
somebody
bro.
told Ryan Brown over at CNN this. He's saying it would be premature. Their sources say it would be premature to withdraw from Afghanistan.
I'm gonna check out these trees real quick.
Let me read the whole paragraph. Right? Knowledgeable sources told CNN's Jake Tapper on Tuesday that the White House directed purge at the Defense Department may have been motivated by the fact that Esper and his team were pushing back on a premature withdrawal from Afghanistan that would be carried out before the required conditions on the ground were met and other pending security issues. So do you see how CNN and Ryan Brown is writing this? As if it's irresponsible. How dare you stop doing war in Afghanistan? That we haven't met our there's pending security issues. Another 20 years, says CNN. This is garbage. That's a garbage reporter. This is a garbage article. And CNN is garbage. U.S. military officials have long stressed, this is from the CNN article, have long stressed that the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan is condition-based. We've all agreed on this. Everybody agrees that we have to stay in Afghanistan. Everybody agreed. Look, we've long agreed. This is CNN saying this. This isn't CNN quoting someone. This is CNN saying this. This is Ryan Brown, the guy who wrote this, saying this. No one fucking said this. This is them saying this. U.S. military officials have long stressed that the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan is condition-based, with those conditions including the Taliban's breaking its ties to al-Qaeda and making progress in peace talks with the Afghan government. Two conditions that have yet to be met, so we have to keep staying there. Says Ryan Brown from CNN. He's not quoting anyone. That's him saying that. But despite the lack of progress, the Trump administration has already substantially reduced U.S. troops in the country by more than 50. Do you see this framing that they're doing in this article? But despite the lack of progress in Afghanistan, hey, we didn't make any progress, and Trump is already reducing our numbers of troops there. We've only been there for 20 years. We haven't made any progress, and Trump is now going to withdraw troops. Again, they're not quoting anyone. This is written directly from the brain of the CNN reporter, stenographer, propagandist, Ryan Brown, and whoever that woman's name was. Because they can't have one person can't write a bullshit propaganda piece. It takes at least two people to get this amount of propaganda in one article. This is fucking stunning, isn't it? Despite the lack of progress, the Trump administration has already substantially reduced it. Shame on them! We haven't made progress yet, that damn Trump administration. They're so reckless. The Trump administration has already substantially reduced U.S. troops in the country by more than 50%, bringing the number of U.S. military personnel there down to about 4,500, the lowest level since the earliest days of the post-9/11. That's a good thing. You fucking tool on purpose at CNN. Trump's national security advisor, Robert O'Brien, has advocated for a more accelerated withdrawal from Afghanistan, irrespective of conditions. And guess what? That's the right move. So they're trying to make, again, this is CNN trying to make peace look reckless. Ending a war that's been going on for 20 years for no reason. If you read the Afghanistan paper, they have no idea what they're doing at any point, at any time do they know what they're doing. They don't even know where their enemy is. And they all know this, and they keep doing the war anyway. Why? So they're upset. The people at CNN are upset that Trump's national security advisor wants to withdraw troops from Afghanistan, irrespective of the conditions on the ground. Something made more feasible by the installation of White House loyalists in his senior defense posts. He has also called for the immediate end to the U.S. military effort in Syria, where a small number of U.S. troops back the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces in their fight against ISIS. So do you see how they're saying Trump won't even fight ISIS? This is really happening. This is a real article written by a person who isn't technically working for the CIA, actually technically works for a news organization. This is the article they wrote. Took two people to do this much propaganda. He has also called for the immediate end of the U.S. military effort in Syria, where a small number of troops are there fighting for democracy against ISIS, and he still wants to get rid of them. A small number are fighting for democracy against ISIS. And now you know why CNN has to smear a guy like me, a nightclub comedian. They have to take time out of their day to assign one of their reporters to watch this show and then smear us. They still have that article up that says we were wrong about the gas attacks in Syria when we were 100% right, and CNN was doing pro-war propaganda on the regular. And I was being ridiculed by everybody. Other fuckface YouTube shows that Russiagate on the regular and repeat CIA talking points weren't sure about the gas attacks in Syria. They weren't sure about it. CNN put me in the middle of a smear piece because I got the Syria war right. And they're always pro-war and wrong. And there's never a price to pay. For CNN's never going to get their YouTube show taken down or their Twitter page stopped, or never. Because whenever you lie for the establishment, there's never a price to pay. And that's what this is. So these are just straight up lie. I mean, you could say it's gaslighting or propaganda, but I'll just say it's lying for the establishment because that's what it is. And here's the two liars doing it today. Ryan Brown and Barbara Starr from CNN took two people, willing tools of the military-industrial complex to put together this big a piece of propaganda. Ending the war is bad, reckless. What are you against? What are you for, ISIS? Are you against democracy? So this is CNN making sure more people get killed in Afghanistan, more soldiers get their legs blown off, more children, more farmers get decapitated. That's what CNN, Ryan Brown, and Barbara Starr are doing. That's what they do for a living. That's what they do for a living. They push pro-war propaganda to help bolster the profits of CNN by getting more ads from the military-industrial complex and Wall
Wow.
Street. So great job by Ryan Brown and Barbara Starr and CNN. Another garbage propaganda piece that turns out is always pro-war. And anybody who's against it is a fucking nut. Okay, over to Steph.
Over to Steph.
All right. Ricky Perez Jr., real progressives don't bail out Wall Street. Real progressives didn't tell us to vote for a system of inverted totalitarianism. You got it, Ricky. Ed Willis, honestly, Bernie ruined the giving my money to politicians thing.
Me too.
I probably gave him $300, F them, and they can use their own money, period. And Willis, Sandra,
Certainly not
who
news.
the F is more conservative, aka Wall Street, money over
That's good,
citizens,
Wendy.
and threat to become Dem Speaker, then Pelosi, question mark? Samuel Simmons, thank you. World Traveler 198, bingo. Master of the Macabre, Sorry Row, is blowing it out of his fanny. Master. Jason, keep punching up. Giving a loan to failing business during a pandemic doesn't work. Brandon Lee, squirmy wormy. Bobby Blue, we have to pay back over $3,000 in unemployment benefits in North Carolina. Thanks, Ro. You know, having somebody say getting a one-time check for $1,200 under these circumstances just didn't sit right. I don't know what $1,200 did other than give a Band-Aid to relief for people. All right, JD, you ready?
Yes. So check this out. Over 700,000 Americans filed first-time unemployment
check.
claims as sluggish recovery continues. Wow. Wow.
My chat will come up soon enough. She reads them
Hey,
all.
California unemployment. Why is Bank of America draining EDD bank accounts? Bank of America has been draining money out of countless EDD accounts, leaving many Californians bewildered and broke. Well, this is an epic 1-2 punch, isn't it? Hey, we decided to put predatory banks in charge of getting pandemic assistance to people. Who saw this going south? Maybe they're just redistributing that money that's meant for poor people to their shareholders. Hey, look, if Bank of America keeps this up, they might get a stern lecture from Elizabeth Warren. Don't get me started, Jim. Mm-hmm.
Don't get me started, Jimmy. It's funny.
Hey, this just in, Senator Dianne Feinstein. This is okay. So just so you know what's going on, this is what's happening in America right now. That's from November 12th, that headline. And this is also from November 12th. You ready? This is my senator. Just in, the Senate passed 2 resolutions that Senator Kamala Harris and I introduced congratulating the Lakers and the Dodgers on bringing championships
Skank
back
of
to Los
America.
Angeles. Under unprecedented circumstances, these
They
teams
fucked me
are
over so
all
bad. I
winning.
hate that company.
Congratulations.
I hate Bank of America. I use
As
them
usual,
still, but I've got
Senator
other
Dianne
banks that I
Feinstein
use
has her
to keep
finger
my
on the
money in.
pulse.
So I don't give them money. You know, I just use them to
Wow.
do other shit.
Man, the government
Small
sure works
amount
fast when it's
bullshit,
something for the
piddly
1%,
shit.
am I right? Look at that. Wow. Hey, people are dying, Diane. I can't hear you. What? People are what? I can't hear you. I'm too high. If I'm up this high in the sky on my broom, I can't hear anything.
Call her a witch. I love it.
The fact that California keeps electing Dianne Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi is proof they are some of the lowest information voters in the country. No better than deep red states. No
Loving the
goddamn
now?
doubt about it.
What do you mean loving the now?
You're gonna wag your finger at people who vote for Ted Cruz.
What does that
and then
mean,
give them
Maxie?
the thumbs up who vote for Dianne Feinstein, who's the same. Nancy Pelosi, the same. You gonna wag your finger? Really? Wow.
What did you guys
Hey,
think?
Dianne Feinstein is 87 years old. I don't care if it sounds ageist. Effing retire. There's no reason an 87-year-old conservative should be deciding our future. Go home forever. Thanks. Let me just say this about that. I don't really like demanding people retire because they're old. Bernie is 1,000 times more progressive than Pete Buttigieg,
Mm-hmm.
Pete Buttigieg.
and Bernie's way older than Pete Buttigieg. Look at Eugene Debs. Didn't matter how old he was. There, you know. I don't. It is before. By the way, but I get her point. But I'm here to just the message is, when we do that, it's a form of self-hate because we're all going to become. We hope to all become older. We shouldn't tell people they're irrelevant because they're older. I don't think they are irrelevant because they're older. The problem with Dianne Feinstein is not her age. I guess that's my point. The problem with Dianne Feinstein is not her age. The problem with Feinstein is the same as all those who
I got
continue the system
four
of underneath
fucking
the president.
notifications.
The problem is that she's bought. She's a corporatist.
Awesome.
That she legislates for her donors and not her voters. I mean,
Very
that's the
good.
problem.
Very
It
good,
doesn't matter
sir.
how old you are.
Very good.
I mean, look.
Just leave your mouth,
Look,
sir.
we
Just
live
leave
in
your mouth.
California. Look at Kamala Harris.
Just
She's a
leave
lot
your
younger.
mouth, sir.
She's just as horrible.
Just leave your mouse.
So I just want to remind this. This is the line for COVID testing at Dodger Stadium on November 11th. So that's Dodger Stadium
What the fuck is that
for
about?
COVID testing.
Why are you
But
gonna go?
Dianne Feinstein was making sure that
Why are you gonna go?
that wasn't the thing at Dodger Stadium she was thinking about. She was thinking about something else less important.
Good thing she introduced that.
Good thing. Okay, over to Steph.
Over
I'm
to Steph.
so glad that the Dodgers and Lakers were able to bring that joy back to California because we've been in a crisis lately, and I think when teams win, we win. Right?
No.
Keep telling the truth. The power never knew. Roe was Andrew. Thank you. DK never changed. Jimmy Jam. Frank B. Roe. Gotcha. Thank you, Frank B. BB Kush. Roe Kana. Gotcha. Other countries are still distributing payments. BB Kush. Hey, everybody, if you're saying something, I don't know, snarky or
She's
brutal
not. She's not gonna
about
read it.
our previous guest, I'm probably not going to read it out loud because it just seems kind of poor manners. Like
Right,
that person
it
was
is.
just in my home.
It is bad news.
So that's why
Good for you.
I'm trying to temper these.
No, let them waste their fucking money. Let them throw their money away on their hate and their bullshit.
And you're right, Dopex, common sense censorship. We'll be talking about that for this next year, I'm sure, if not more. Or will we? Sandra, why won't Super Chat let me say fuck? And you had to write that backwards. I see what you did there. Clever, clever, clever. Rabbit Red Eye 1. I don't know if it's just me, but the stream was lagging. It was. Who knows why? Bernard rose on the right side of politics. His responses demonstrate his unwillingness to fight systemic changes he knows are needed. Still a good guy. Thank you for the observation, Bernard. Nota Nosage. Check out the documentary called Cane Fire playing at Hawaii International Film Festival. It's about working class and labor unions in Hawaii. Aloha.
Come to me.
Come to me.
Hey, I don't know if you heard the big news. Pfizer and BioNTech Announced vaccine candidate against COVID-19 achieved success in first interim analysis from phase 3 study. So Pfizer is announcing they've had some very successful tests of their vaccine. And this news is coming straight from, let me check. Oh, Pfizer. It's coming straight from Pfizer, just so you know. Okay. So vaccine candidate was found to be more than 90% effective in preventing COVID-19 in participants without evidence of prior SARS infection in the first efficacy analysis. Again, so that's unbelievable, almost 90%. And again, this is coming from Pfizer. Analysis evaluated 94 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in trial participants.
94.
Study enrolled 40,538 participants, with 42% having diverse backgrounds, and no serious safety concerns have been observed. Safety and additional efficacy data continue to be collected.
Right on, Doc.
Submission for emergency use authorization, that's called the EUA, emergency use authorization, to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration planned after required safety milestone is achieved, which is currently expected to occur in the third week of November.
Beazle.
So in other
I have to
words,
take him out.
organizations other than the manufacturer
dark
are going
now.
to get to weigh
It's
in.
wet
on this
out
thing.
there.
That's what that means.
Fuck.
So they have to submit to the. So okay, so because this, by the way, so that's why you have to look at this skeptically because it's coming. So wait till you get another organization to verify all this. BioNTech Pfizer stock soar after COVID-19 vaccine candidate achieved success in the first analysis. Soar. So now you know why Pfizer would want to release that data, right? Now you
Yes.
now you get it. But I'm sure they wouldn't be biased about the vaccines working or anything, would they? Would they? I mean, just because it makes their money go. We have never taken any money from the U.S. government or from anyone.
I can't
said
thank you,
Catherine
Deborah. I
Jansen, the
appreciate
senior
your
vice
answer.
President at Pfizer.
You can't prove me wrong because I'm not.
Can you believe they say that kind of stuff? We just take advantage of the tax breaks in the predatory pharmaceutical industry that allow us to.
Right
to
on,
be
Wendy.
legal. That's what we take advantage of. They never take money, really? Well, David Sirota tweeted this out. Pfizer claims it has never taken money from the government after it has received more than $500 million in public subsidies and assistance. What are you
Half a
talking
billion.
about? Subsidy tracker parent company, Pfizer. Subsidy. Look at, there it is. State and local, federal grants. Total $375 million. Total face value, local bailout summary.
Not
So
millions.
they got lots of here. There's even more. There it is. State and local. There's your big numbers.
Jeez.
That's three. If you can't see, that's 378 million.
It is. Holy
So-
shit.
The U.S. agrees to pay Pfizer and BioNTech $2 billion for 100 million doses of coronavirus vaccine. Hey, I thought you guys
We're gonna do it for free,
didn't take any money from them.
right? I thought you were doing it for free.
If that's not taking money, can you please sign me up so I can take some of that not money from the government?
Wow.
Wow.
Thanks.
Wow. If that's not taking money,
Appreciate you.
and if that's not taking money, I would like to take some of that money. What do you mean, Jimmy? Well, under the agreement, the United States will get 100 million doses of the vaccine if it works, and it can acquire a 500 million additional doses if needed. German biotech firm BioNTech and U.S.-based Pfizer are jointly developing the vaccine. Health and Human Services said Americans won't have to pay for it. Don't be quick to trust Big Pharma here. This is from Public Citizen. Releasing this, they're a think tank that doesn't take corporate money. Public Citizen are the good guys. Don't be quick to trust Big Pharma here. Releasing preliminary and incomplete clinical trial data by press release is terrible science. Until this vaccine candidate receives independent review, we should temper our expectations. That's exactly right. In other words, until folks that don't have a massive financial incentive for this thing to work take a look at it, don't get your hopes up. Man, whoever thought turning healthcare into a massive profit center would back?
No, Kevin, it's not
Whoever
420
thought that?
anywhere.
I wonder why no other industrialized nation in the world goes about health and medicine.
It's
the way
literally
they do.
not
I wonder
420
why.
anywhere. Check your clock, bro.
Natalie Scher tweets out, I don't know if Pfizer's preliminary claim of 90% efficacy is accurate, but I do know that they have every incentive to hype their vax as much as possible. And it's extremely effed that consequential public health messaging is coming through a corporate filter. Ding ding. FYI, Fox News poll, 72% of people in America are for Medicare for all. What you need to know about, oh, by the way, can I just tell you this about, here's the thing, so there's going to be a lot of, I don't even know if I should talk about this, but a lot of people don't want to get that vaccine. They're afraid. I mean, we had Bill Binney on here. He was saying there's his theories about what they're going to do with it. But I got a freaking vaccine. I got a flu vaccine a couple of years ago. Did I tell you about this? Did I ever tell people about this?
I don't think so.
There's this thing. I have this.
I'm gonna
It's
put
called
my
Sirva.
shoes on.
SIRVA, and that's sometimes if you get when I got the flu vaccine, they did it incorrectly. I didn't know that.
Cheers,
I didn't
Kevin.
know that was a possibility that they could do it incorrectly. They did it incorrectly, and I got this Sirva.
10 till or 420 or
Sirva is after a
420 after.
vaccine
That's when it's
injection, many
420.
people experience arm soreness or stiffness in the shoulder. For most people, this pain will
This
only
is
last
just
a day or
free
two,
smoke
and they
for
can
you.
resume their normal lives. However, others will suffer unusual shoulder pain. They're unable to move their arms for weeks, forcing them to miss work. They may develop long-lasting health effects from shoulder pain and swelling. Although the cases are rare, they have been recognized by medical communities as shoulder injury related to vaccine administration. It's called Sirva. So I had that. I got it, and I don't know what happened, but for at least 2 years, my arm was messed up, and it went through my whole shoulder,
I got that.
like my
I had that
what do you call shoulder blade.
horrible pain in my shoulder blade. God.
And that's why, so
From
when
driving.
people ask me to get, I would go
When I
back to
drive a
whenever
car.
I go to the doctor, you want your flu shot? No, I go, I'm never getting a flu shot. And I had to go in and get a steroid for my back. Remember when my back broke out horrible, stress related, and the guy was going to give me a shot of steroids, and I was afraid of shots because of what happened. I go, I'm not taking any shots. And he goes, you have to take this shot. And I go, I'm not taking it. And so he gave me medicine instead, right? I didn't take that shot. Sirva happens when a vaccine is injected into the shoulder capsule rather than the deltoid muscles in your shoulder. Basically, a shoulder injury occurs when a vaccine is improperly administered.
Oh, administered.
The vaccine is sometimes given
Ugh.
too high on the shoulder or too deeply into the tissue. A shoulder injury related to vaccine administration can also happen when a medical professional uses the wrong needle length. How the fuck is that even possible? Vaccines that are improperly administered may inflame and injure nearby tendons, ligaments, or bursa. That's a fluid-filled sac in your shoulder.
Oh my.
As a result, people with Sirva experience intense shoulder pain, loss of mobility, and other long-lasting problems. I have that.
Wow. Wow.
That's why I will never get another flu vaccine. I will never get a flu vaccine. They have them where you can put them in your nose, I think.
Right
you
on,
can-
Wendy.
Like a
That's
mist.
another way to think. Okay.
I think there's that, so I'll do that, but I will never get another. My arm still hurts to this day. It's not 100%. It's still, for years,
Use my pain oil.
a hurt. Like just stand, I would just be walking my dog and my shoulder would be hurting.
Put my
Just
fucking
I'm
triage
holding
oil
each
on
and
your
the other hand.
shoulder.
My hand, nothing. Couldn't lift anything, couldn't dig. So, I had this. So that's going to be the problem when the vaccine comes up. There's going to be a lot of people who don't want to get the vaccine anyway. And vaccines are only, like, I think they're not 100% effective. They're not even 90%. The flu vaccine is like somewhere around 60% effective. The
Jimmy,
regular
put
flu
the
vaccine.
oil on your shoulder.
So, I hope the vaccine is strong and good and works and everything, and I hope a lot of people get it if it works. Venezuela came up with a medicine. I'm gonna have to look more into this that they said treats coronavirus. And that would be really fantastic if that's real. So that's in trials right now. So that would be that's what I would do. I would be more inclined to do that. But okay, there you go. All right.
Thank you, Jimmy. This woman named Monica Wineska, she said the vaccine should be tested on politicians first. If they survive, the vaccine is
Politicians, I
safe.
love it. That's hilarious.
If they don't, then the country is safe. Love that,
I love it.
right? I love that. Yeah, and we need to leave in 35 minutos.
Ooh.
Must handle some stuff. Wink, wink.
In a half hour.
Ollie, Sholly. What can you do to protect people from Joe Biden? That's why I
They
love
got
you,
9,300
Jimmy.
people
Jimmy,
watching.
Bring up Yemen more. Anthony, I'm sorry, but the blasé attitude Ro kinda has mistakes? Question mark. Mark Ruby, Jimmy ain't no mainstream bitch. Keep punching up. Roger Meadows, Roe bragged about a one-time payment of $1,200, not per week, but once. $350 billion
I don't trust
for
Pfizer.
small business ran out
Uh.
in 9 days, forcing us onto unemployment. Not Fed securing us in our job compensating biz to keep paying workers. I wasn't satisfied.
88.
I share that dissatisfaction with that response. Absolutely. I think we all do who watched the interview. The
Peop-
progressive lefty,
People are leaving.
if Rose considered
87.
your left, I can see why the U.S. is in trouble. Welcome, Canada.
8,700.
John Cho, Roe blamed the Federal Reserve for the upward
8,600.
wealth transfer. He is right. And the Fed, 120 billion a month for the banks. Fed equals main source of inequality. Thank you, John. Carl Hamilton, the Bavarian. I know, right? 21 grams of soul. If Roe's going to fight for progressives, then we need to see the fight. We need it to be public, not private. When behind the doors, the people always get nothing. Sandra, thank you, Jimmy, for sending Roe back to his mom, Bear Pelosi, with our threat of direct action. Redneck Gamer at 185, you really should invest in a VPN to prevent future issues with streams. Relatively cheap, and you could probably get sponsored by one. I think that's a good rep. Thank you. Sandra, why is Roe coming on Jimmy's show now? Is it to unite us with corrupt Dems to push Biden left instead of cheering Trump's challenge to election fraud, election corruption, truth at hashtag Convo Couch. Love Convo Couch. Nays Garden, Jimmy, I have a video on my main channel showing you to get 20 unsubscribes live on Social Blade. Oh my God. And Nays Garden, let me get through today, and then I'm back on it. We can chat soon, and I have to get that postcard. I know. I've got it on my list.
Okay.
I've got a long list of stuff to do. Roe should replace Nancy as a speaker, right, John? Have a ball. Joe cares about unions. Roe should do stand-up.
Cheers, Marjorie.
Roger Meadows, despite trying to gaslight us, tell us crumbs we got in CARES Act, no Medicare for all, money for the state / local government, CV testing, change our supply line of PPE to US in it. You got to respect the man for coming on the show, taking the blows. Yeah, absolutely. And mid-conversation, you notice that Rose said that he would like to come back in 2 to 3 months. Wow, he's welcome back. Wiley Burke, Prop 22 was a product of Kamala's cop brother. I heard from Thomas
She
Frank.
is cute.
Sorry, Ro. Dems are not pro-labor. I am from Toronto, Canada. Love the show. Thank you. Wiley, Carl Hamilton, are you staying clear of Israel lest you get demonetized? Rabbit Eye 1 seems. Oh, it just moved on me. Rabbit Eye 1 seems.
I gotta take him out
Really?
for a walk, guys.
Really? Oh, I'm almost there.
Tune in to Jimmy Dore, everybody.
Seems like lagging only happens during an interview.
Where's my
Interesting.
boots?
Thank you, Rabbit Eye. Ma Lingy. So Hillary is being considered for UN ambassador, Obama 2.0 or what? Chad Bartel, relationship goals. Find someone who laughs hysterically with me like Steph laughs with Jimmy, right?
Oh,
That's totally fun.
I agree.
It's fun.
I agree.
Nays Garden AOC corporations are people, my friend. The 10% of people who make all the money, while the other 90% struggle. Thank you, Nays Garden.
You're welcome.
Sarah Griffin, what are you up to tonight, Sarah? Tim Usman, Pompeo promised smooth transaction. Pompeo! Nate's Garden, Coke, oil, and water don't mix unless you are a corporation. Nice work, Nate's Garden. P. Walker, Biden needs Silicon Valley to censor and memory hole inconvenient views in time for the midterms. Oh my God. But you know, I also caught a clip of Nancy Pelosi talking about how she really doesn't, social media, she really doesn't really approve of Facebook. And, you know, they made matters worse in the 2016 election. Dun 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 dun. What kind of censorship can they help get done in these next 2 years? Marco Smith, Ron Klain was chief counsel of the Senate Judiciary Committee, which Biden chaired when it botched the Clarence Thomas hearings. Wow, Marco. John Bailey, keep it up. Long-time caller, first-time listener. What's up? Gordon Osteridge, keep it up. You keep it up. Not to break, but our chains. Facebook Messenger blocked my buddy to receive links to this stream. That's interesting. Mark, Facebook Messenger blocked my buddy to receive links to this stream. I think we should write that on the list and ask our rep. Add Bravo. Andy G, that's me. What's the over-under on Biden finishing 2 years? He has advanced dementia and his prolific gaffe machine that will be fun to watch. What is the over-under? I was going to say under-over. Can you say that way? Francisco Gianola, keep up the great work, and let's press the pedal to the metal on the much-needed People's Party. That's right. Check out Movement for the People's Party, everybody.
Are you
Check
one of
it
the
out.
People's Party? You
Right
liking
under
the People's
Caesar.
Party?
Jimmy, I hope you can get on
I'm
some
gonna
podcast
get you
so you
some
can
more
get the
People's
MIC
Party. You wait
everywhere.
right there. I'm gonna get you some more
Eric
People's
Volcano.
Party.
Love you too. Take my money. I love that attitude. Look at you, big spender. Come on. Steve Husted. Steve. Trump the peacemaker. Awesome, but Shanghai Joe will put them back by March. Oh, I hope not. Nico, you're back. Hello, Nico. Jimmy and Steph, here's my attempted joke. Let me know if it's decent or awful hot. This is America. We don't negotiate with terror. This is America. We don't.
I'd like to
This
buy
is
another
America.
super
We
chat,
don't
but they're going to be
negotiate
gone in
with
a half hour.
terrorists. We just fund them, train them, and give them.
I gotta take
weapons.
Rogan out. I'll be right
Nailed
back.
it. Thoughtful. I don't know how. I bet you it's funny. I bet you it's funny. I just didn't. I took too long.
I just got to put my jacket on.
We just fund them, train them, and give them weapons. That's good. Massachusetts Peace Action. Look at the Raytheon anti-war campaign based here in Massachusetts. Uh-oh. I can't take this call right now. I can't take it. Remind me. Wait a minute. Message. Sorry, I can't talk right now. Look at the Raytheon anti-war campaign based in Massachusetts. Resist the people that really run the country. Day of action on Yemen, 12520. Not to break out of our chains. As long as the CIA is in Syria, so is ISIS. JH, thank you, JH. 4037 thanks 1138. Starting to think that they had dirt on Bernie. He bent the knee so hard. A Russian bot. It's good to see CNN showing women journalists can be corrupt and warmongering as the male counterparts. Hashtag equality. I love it. Brandon Howe, great job on Tucker. Jimmy, really hope the populist left and the right can come together more on issues that we have in common interest. You are correct. And it is about us coming together. You know, if you find yourself looking at somebody and looking at them as the other because they voted for somebody that you didn't vote for, that's like that game that they want to divide us. Don't let them divide us. We have to work on uniting. We have to work to find that compassion in each of us about our neighbor. And what is that policy that's going to definitely make my neighbor's life better? Maybe that's what I might think about. I don't know. Or just remember the mantra, I am better than you. And maybe they'll take the edge off of this show. But wasn't Jimmy great on Tucker? He was terrific. A saved timid, thank you. Sita Wardy, this is Sherry Ann Davis. I would love to support you with more than just membership, sharing all your social media posts, etc. How can we spread the love? Would definitely support Jimmy Dore t-shirts too. Yes, you go to our website and you'll see our merch. We rarely talk about our merch. We're gonna put some new merch up soon, probably this next week. But it's, it's so weird to like, the show is meaningful to us. The purpose of the show is to communicate ideas that Jimmy is passionate about. And you might not be in lockstep with us, but come on. His BS detector is pretty strong. And being a part of this show is really exciting. And, it's hard to, we'll have more merch for you. I'm going to say this week I'm going to have more merch for you. But Sherry Ann Davis keeps sharing our work. That's really nice. That's very generous. Sharing our posts on social media. Really appreciate it. Nico, you are back. Damn, Pfizer and Obama's drone program are equally effective. Whoops. A saved MD, they don't want to leave because they make billions from the poppies. In Afghanistan, Coulter Smith, how do we encourage progressive House members to stick with popular economic issues and not contentious social policy? Coulter Smith, I'm going to say one thing. How about calling their office? How about start calling the offices of the representatives that you want to speak to? And have a 1-minute thing to say to them. Who is that? Who would that be? I don't know who that would be. Okay. Hold on, yes, we are. Yes. This take me longer. Confirmed. Yes, got it. Okay, multitasking, that was hard right now. Jimmy, put the oil on your shoulder. Great idea, Nays Garden. Absolutely, he loves it. He loves that product. Please bring on Caleb Maupin to talk about the new book on Kamala Harris. He is an RT reporter, an author, and an activist. He's a human encyclopedia. Thank you for the rec for Caleb. Becca Sia, Biden wants Hillary Clinton for UN ambassador. Would we hear much from her? At that point, would we hear much from her? All right, it moved on me, everybody. We're wrapping up. We're closing in on this, ladies and gentlemen. Probably take me less than 5 minutes. Girly Gamer 86, I get an BC implant cut out and replaced in my arm every 3 years and have had IVs in my arm for days. Vaccine shots ain't nothing. I hear you, Girly Gamer. Gassan Karshan, can you please bring Syria? The sanctions are hurting the people, and people literally have no bread to eat. What are we doing in Syria? What are we doing in Yemen? What are we doing in Libya? What are we doing in Afghanistan? Why were we ever in Iraq? What's going on? Oh. Gabriel Wolf Spirit, I like it, Wolf Spirit. I had an allergic reaction to tetanus shot. Not been allowed any vaccine since. Stuff happens sometimes. Thank you, Gabriel. Michael Williams vaccine. A big hell no from me. I see 8 to 10 commercials a day on the side effects of some drug and how you can get on the class action suit. My favorite was the diabetic medication that causes gangrene of the genitals. Yikes! Eric Volcate. Do you have any pull with Kyle at Secular Talk? If he could be convinced to follow you over to Rockfin, I could ditch this platform. I hear you. We'll talk to Kyle. He hasn't switched over, right? Jeff Shapiro. Jimmy, what's your phone number? Staff, you too. Okay, it's very easy. It's 626-123-78910. What? Come on. Leave a message. Marco Smith. Mere youngsters next to DiFi 87, Speaker Pelosi 80, Majority Leader Steny Hoyer 81, and Majority Whip Jim Clyburn a young 80. Nuno Fernandez, Nuno. Thank you. Sinead, VPNs let you hide your IP address. Secures data. Thank you on that. Heads up. Nathan Robarge. Thank you, amigo. Ricky. So Feinstein and Harris didn't sneak a Medicare for All amendment in the Dodger resolution? No? So unlike them. Nice work, Ricky. Mark Hart. Marines raid of Dominion servers in Germany. The smoking gun for election fraud will be on those servers. Count on it. Check out Brett talking smack about JD on Damage Report today. Compared him to Dave Rubin coup on the president. 80% of the Peruvian people were opposed to the impeachment, and a new president was installed. USA intervention? Question mark. Oh, Kevin. Carl Bruce. Possible to make past live shows available to view people that attended? Carl, I think that's a really good idea, and maybe that's something that we could release maybe over the holidays, that we start releasing some of those shows or clips of the shows or 20-minute segments. Like, you see the clips because we share out, but those moments, like those behind the, you know, kind of like, I get you. Let me think about it. Let me see what we can produce, because I think that's a pretty cool idea. Thank you, Carl. Smash and grab. Epic fail. Oh, what happened there, Smash and grab? Ah, what happened? So intrigued. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I got to everybody. Smash and, yes, I got you. And Kevin Vega, I got you. Ladies and gentlemen, that would, oh, and I see what you're saying, Marcus Elgart, that would be epic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. So great that you showed up, and thanks for checking out JD on Tucker Carlson, because, you know, the things we like to talk about here is peace, right? Come on, everybody. All right, so don't cause any trouble on the street tonight. Scott Davidson, thank you very much. You're a sweetheart, Scotty. Just got here. What did I miss? The whole show, amigo. We are now wrapping this bitch up. All right, I'm taking off. I'm going to take Brownie. Yes, he's in my lap. Come on, Brownie. Show them who you are. Show them your animal spirit, Brownie. Here he is. All right. Don't bite me. He bit me once. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're taking off. And build the green party. Aloha and peace. This is moving. Let's see what I got. Ciao, everybody. Peace, light. Oh, Harry Smith. All right, everybody. And remember, maybe you are the light. Maybe not. I mean, the odds are. Anyways, maybe you are. Bye-bye.
The odds are. Yeah, it was fun, huh? So, Rogie and I had a nice walk. Handled. Can't wait to watch this tomorrow morning. Cool. So, I'm gonna make food for them. Thank you for hanging out and waiting for me. We really had a nice hike all the way around, well, straight out the end of the property and back on 2 different trails. It was so nice, you know, just, it's freezing cold. It's raining out there just lightly, but it's really, really nice. So anyhow, I'm going to go feed these little beasts. You guys, thanks for staying here. Check out my friend Ron Placone. Check out Jimmy Dore Show. Make sure you guys start subscribing to their channels, and I'll see you guys over there. All right, and make sure you subscribe to their channels, man. Look at it this way. Imagine one day I'm not broadcasting anymore, and the only way you're going to find me is to subscribe to all the channels that I told you to subscribe to and be a part of those audience that I'm saying for you to subscribe to. And if you're putting it off, you're just going to be depriving yourself of being able to contact me when that might be the only place that you might find me. Think about it that way. If you guys are not subscribing to the people that I'm interviewing, all right, just remember that. That's where I'll be.